Yes then people, and welcome back. Today we're going for something a bit different. I gave up alcohol a year ago, yesterday, just to see if I could do it for a year because it seems like an impossible task. I'll give a bit of a background first on my drinking habits, just so you know that I wasn't like this monk who didn't drink at all. So, like most people in England, at the age of 17, I started drinking, going out clubbing, and then I went to university, and ever since I was 17 I've probably done 2 or 3 nights out a week. And every time I went from summer holidays from uni, it was always lads holidays, so that was like a week of drinking non-stop. So my body never really had any time off alcohol. Then after that, I finished university and I went home for a year to save up to come travelling, and I didn't drink as much as I was used to drinking. So I was thinking during that time, like, I don't actually really enjoy drinking that much anymore. Like, I would like to give it up for an extended period of time, but obviously that's going to be impossible when I'm travelling. So then fast forward that year, I come out to Australia and I'm just drinking when I get out here pretty much every day. It's like a lad's holiday again, non-stop. And that's pretty much the trend throughout the whole 3 years I'm here, other than like 6 months when I was living in Sydney where I didn't really drink at all. And then I was doing my farm work in Australia, which is like just working on a farm in the rainforest at a hostel, and I was really thinking, like, I don't want to drink anymore, like I want to have an extended period of time off this. However, in that environment, it's just very hard to say no. Like, you're in a rainforest with 100 other backpackers, and there's nothing to do. You're in a town with 2,000 people. So when I left there, I told myself that I would definitely give up drinking. So I left there and I was on a boat doing a tour of the Whitsundays, and it was like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. The sun was setting, we're on the ocean, and everyone's just pissed up, and me and my mate just chilling there watching the sunset, and I'm thinking, wow, like, this is my life. Like, I would just be like pissed up idiot. And I probably would have missed this sunset 2 years ago. Like, how much shit in my life have I missed just because I've been pissed up idiot? So that was it. The 17th of March, I decided to give it up, and I haven't drank since. And still haven't drank yet. Now, let's go on to some of the benefits. Before giving up drinking, I really struggled to focus and concentrate on things, and I didn't really have a good idea of what or when I wanted to do things. But now I feel a lot more mental clarity. I'm good at planning things out now in the future, as opposed to it was always just fuck it in the moment. I feel like I can focus on things a lot more. Before I give up drinking, I used to read books, but it was like very non-concentration. I would read like 5 or 10 pages and then I'd end up going for a walk, going for a coffee, something like that. But now I can really like focus in, not on reading, but tasks for like 2 to 3 hours. I could read a book for like half an hour, 45 minutes without having to put it down. I know that's not a massive amount of time, but when you couldn't read a book for more than 5 minutes, it's a massive improvement. I definitely believe just by not drinking for a week, then your brain would just be in a better state, you'd be able to better concentrate on things. That is one of the things that I noticed pretty early on, that I could concentrate a lot better, just because I wasn't hungover all the time. One of the main things that I noticed straight away was my sleep started to improve rapidly. Now, you might think that this is pretty obvious. If you ever heard, it's definitely a good idea to go to bed at the same time every night. And even if you do that 5 nights a week, say you go out twice a week, it's not in your routine. But now, I find it a lot easier to get to sleep initially, and I also sleep a lot deeper, and I never really find that I'm struggling to get to sleep. Like, we've all had it, the day after the night out, when you've been in bed till 12 in the afternoon and then it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep again because your sleep pattern's just all over the place. And what you do find with this is that you're always ready to sleep. Like, I go to bed between 8 and 9 and wake up between 4 and 5 every single day. And it's not like, oh, I've got to wake up early. It's like, boom, I'm ready, I'm alive. Like, I'm not rubbing my eyes and trying to get ready for the day because the sleep has actually made me recovered. Then your body's just making up for that deficit sleep at the weekend, and also the alcohol takes a few days to get out of your system, so your body's recovering from that. So it's just, if you want to sleep better, then severely reducing your alcohol intake is going to have astonishing benefits. Now, if you've ever tried to pick up a new habit or be consistent with something, you will know at first it is very hard. And even if, say, you do it for a month and then you miss a few days, it's hard to get back going again. But how could you ever expect to be really consistent with something if like 1 or 2 days you're feeling like absolute shit? Like, you just don't want to move out of bed. Say it's running, meditating, reading, eating healthy. You're obviously going to be negatively affected by getting blackout drunk all the time. And it really doesn't help with you actually wanting to move forward in life. Like for years before I actually gave up drinking, I wanted to start an online coaching business, start a YouTube, start like a fitness account essentially. And I never really had the motivation, or I didn't believe in myself enough. I was too scared of what people would think of me. But after a while you think it doesn't actually matter what people think about you. And it does take a lot to remove yourself from those situations, because when you're drinking all the time and you've got that big social group, it's hard to say, no, I'm going to step back and do this thing. It doesn't really help you to progress socially and get involved in all the activities, and you have to sort of feel like you get in a loop where you're like, I have to be there, I have to be there. It's someone's party, it's this night out, it's someone's party, it's someone's birthday. And these things are just never ending. And if you go to every single one of them, you're never going to have a life opposed to drinking. Now the fourth one is probably the best one for me. I've always been somebody that's had good energy. However, in the afternoons I would always tail off, and I used to drink a shitload of caffeine, like more than most humans. But now I drink less caffeine and I have more energy. I really do believe it's solely down to the fact that by not drinking, you've just recovered a lot better, you've slept a lot better. I don't even get that afternoon lull anymore. Like on a Thursday, Friday, maybe I'll feel a little tired. It used to feel like come 1, 2 o'clock, I was tired, I wanted to go home, work felt horrible. But now I feel like my ability to stay energized throughout the day is a lot better, and I don't really feel like I need to chill out in the evenings as much, which is definitely a positive, because if you're just drinking caffeine all the time, then your energy spikes up and down like that. But now it's more of a constant stream, and then it tails off in the evening, where it used to be bam, 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 bam. So that has definitely been a positive effect. And the final real benefit that I've noticed, and this ties in with all of them, I think the sleep, the habits, the being more consistent, the energy levels, these all tie in to the fact that you have more time. And that is one of the most underrated things in the world. When you literally have just gained yourself an extra 2 days, and Monday you don't feel like shit and Tuesday you don't feel like shit, you've literally gained yourself a whole week. Because if you're drinking heavily at the weekends, 1 to 2 times, we all know how it feels. Like those 2 days are a write-off. Monday's a bit of a drag, Tuesday's a bit of a drag, Wednesday you feel good, Thursday you feel good, Friday you're back drinking. So you only really get Wednesday and Thursday to actually feel good. And it's not like, I'm feeling really good. It's like, wow, I feel normal again now. Like, Jesus, we're going to have to get on it again at the weekend. It's not even that you conceptualize that the drinking is having a negative effect on your life, because you're so in that culture and you're like, yeah, I need to drink again because that's all I can do in my free time. Like, that's where the fun is. If you remove yourself from that for an extended period of time, then you will notice that you can have fun doing other things. So now I'm going to get into the negatives, because there are a few. Firstly, you're going to be less social for a start unless you pick up new things, because if you drinking is your social activity, then more than likely most of your friends are going to be drinking still all the time, so you are going to have to A, find new friends, or B, find new things to do, or C, just focus on yourself and actually try to build something that you want to do opposed to the thing you're currently doing. It also can be frustrating that your friends are not very supportive at this time. They can take the piss, they call you a pussy, like, oh, well, you're not drinking, mate, all this stuff. So you're not going to have as good a social life, or you're not going to be doing the same things socially that you used to do, so you're going to have to find new things to do. And the other one is that you're definitely going to find it harder dating, meeting people of the opposite sex, if that's where you found them before. However, I would like you to think of how many people that you meet when you're drunk are really long-term or even short-term good ideas. Like, most of them are very short-lived. You might not get on afterwards, maybe you do, but or you might even talk, and it's just very transactional. It's like, we are going to have sex, thank you for that, goodbye. It's not really, I'm having sex with this person because I really like them. It's more, yeah, we're here at the end of the night, pissed up, it's 3 o'clock, let's do it. Or maybe you'll even start seeing each other for a few weeks, but it's still never really evolves to anything, because you met in that state where you're pissed up. Is what I have found. You might be different, you might have met your girlfriend on a night out. To summarise, firstly, I want to say that imagine if you had a friend and he did any other drug but drinking, and he said, every weekend he was just a mess and he didn't know what to do with himself. So all he did was fucked up on anything other than drink, any other drug. And he said he wanted to cut down, but he couldn't. You'd be like, mate, you've seriously got a problem. And he was like, no, I'm fine. And like, he was a zombie Monday, Tuesday. Exactly the same after effects of drink, but it was any other drug, you would think, this guy's got a problem. Like, really has got a problem. Because it's drink, it's grandfathered in, like, it's been here for a long time, we think, oh, it's legal, like, it's the good thing to do. It's the only good drug. It's evidently not when you actually look into this sort of stuff. It has more negative side effects than most other drugs, which might seem crazy at first, but just have a little look online, read some stuff if you want to, and I can assure you that alcohol is up there with the worst. Just do a little thought experiment to end on. Imagine there's a guy who has never experienced our culture, but we teach him our language. We start teaching him things and we just give him a list of all the drugs. And we say, this is drug A to Z, and these are the positives, these are the negatives. You've got to pick which one you think we have chosen to be legal. I don't think alcohol will be high up on the list of ones that he would have chose to be legal. There's so many negative effects of it than other drugs that we class as illegal that it just seems absolutely ludicrous. I won't go into details on what drugs because you are to decide those sorts of things. But finally, if you were to give up drinking for 3 months, 6 months, even a month, just to step back from this cycle that you're in, would I have more energy? Would I have more money? Would I look at my life maybe a little differently? Would I be more analytical about things? Would I want to make better progress with things? Because most of the time, I think that we're drinking at the weekends because we don't like what we do in our day-to-day. And we just drink to sort of numb that. Maybe our boss is a dickhead. Maybe we really don't like our girlfriend. Maybe there's several aspects of our life that we don't drink. But when we drink, it removes those thoughts. So you don't have to think about the negatives in your life because you drink, you're with your friends, you're having fun. But if these negatives could become more clear to you, and this gives you the opportunity to change, then I think you would be a happier person for it.